When we think about agriculture, the image of green fields and abundance might come to mind. But is that all there is to it? What about sustainability? How does it fit into this story? The connection between these two forces goes far beyond what it seems. Agriculture is not just about planting and harvesting. It's an activity that shapes the soil, climate, biodiversity, and even the quality of life in entire communities. And sustainability? It's the key to ensuring everything functions harmoniously, both today and in the future. But what is the true link between these two concepts? The answer might surprise you. While some agricultural models exploit resources to the extreme, sustainable practices show that it's possible to produce food, preserve the environment, and care for people. Ready to understand how this relationship can transform the future of food and the planet? Let's dive into this topic and discover why agriculture and sustainability are inseparable. The relationship between agriculture and sustainability begins with the conscious use of natural resources. Soil, for instance, is one of the pillars of agricultural production, but unchecked exploitation can lead to erosion and loss of fertility. Practices like no-till farming and crop rotation demonstrate that it's possible to produce food while protecting and regenerating the soil. After all, sustainable agriculture is not just about extracting, but also giving back to the land what it needs to remain productive. Water, another essential resource, directly connects agriculture and sustainability. Poorly planned agricultural systems can waste or even pollute water, while sustainable methods, such as drip irrigation, optimize every drop. Imagine a farm using reservoirs to collect rainwater and irrigate crops. This is the kind of solution that balances productivity with respect for the environment. Biodiversity is a critical link between agriculture and sustainability. Diverse farming systems that integrate trees, plants, and animals create more stable and resilient ecosystems. For example, growing different species together reduces the need for pesticides, fostering a healthier environment for both plants and workers. When it comes to sustainability, managing natural resources is not a choice, but a necessity. Monoculture, common in conventional agriculture, depletes soil and reduces its regenerative capacity. On the other hand, practices like using organic fertilizers and introducing legumes into the system replenish essential nutrients in the soil, ensuring long-term productivity. Sustainable agriculture is, at its core, a pact with natural resources. By adopting methods that protect soil, water, and biodiversity, we ensure these resources remain available for future generations. And if natural resources are the foundation, how does climate connect to this essential relationship between agriculture and sustainability? The connection between agriculture and sustainability in a climate context is clear. Agriculture can either be a solution or a problem for climate change. Conventional agricultural practices, such as deforestation and poor soil management, exacerbate extreme weather events, while sustainable methods work to mitigate these impacts. Well-maintained soil, for instance, sequesters carbon and enhances crop resilience. Sustainable soil management is a key ally in addressing climate change. Cover crops such as legumes not only protect soil from erosion, but also help store carbon, reducing the effects of irregular weather patterns. Picture a farm that embraces these practices. It not only withstands climate fluctuations better, but also contributes to environmental stability. Vegetation also plays a critical role in the relationship between agriculture and sustainability. Planting trees in agroforestry systems, for example, creates a cooler microclimate and increases air humidity, benefiting agricultural production. A farmer adopting this strategy improves not just their local environment, but also helps regulate regional climate. Sustainable agriculture also aligns with reducing emissions. Techniques like no-till farming and proper organic waste management prevent the release of greenhouse gases. A practical example is composting, which transforms waste into natural fertilizers, replacing chemical inputs that harm the environment. The climate impact shows that sustainability is an inevitable path for modern agriculture. By integrating regenerative practices, agriculture not only adapts to climate change, but also contributes to its mitigation. And when we talk about adaptation, how does this reflect on food security, especially amid climate uncertainties? The relationship between agriculture and sustainability is the foundation for ensuring food security. Large-scale food production depends on natural resources that, if not managed responsibly, could be depleted. Sustainable farming systems protect soil, water, and biodiversity, ensuring these resources remain available to feed current and future populations. Sustainable agricultural practices make crops more resilient to climate change, strengthening food security. The use of locally adapted seeds and regenerative soil management are examples of how agriculture and sustainability complement each other. Imagine a farm adopting techniques like terracing in mountainous regions to prevent erosion and preserve soil fertility. It ensures harvests even under adverse climate conditions. Sustainability also reduces the vulnerability of food supply chains. Local production systems, which shorten the distance between farm and consumer, reduce dependence on transportation and long distribution chains. Think of regional farmers markets offering fresh food while strengthening local economies and minimizing carbon emissions. Food waste is another intersection between agriculture and sustainability. Sustainable practices help reduce losses in the field, such as by using imperfect produce for byproducts instead of discarding them. At home, consumers can plan their purchases better and fully utilize food, promoting a more conscious relationship with what they eat. Food security is not just about quantity, but also quality and longevity. Sustainable agriculture ensures healthier food free from harmful chemical residues, while preserving natural resources. But if food security is about ensuring tomorrow, how does biodiversity contribute to building even more balanced and productive farming systems? The preservation of biodiversity is one of the most evident connections between agriculture and sustainability. Monoculture, a hallmark of conventional agriculture, drastically reduces species diversity, making agricultural systems more vulnerable to pests and diseases. In contrast, sustainable methods like agroforestry promote balanced ecosystems where different species coexist and strengthen one another. Soil biodiversity is essential for agricultural sustainability. Microorganisms like fungi and bacteria work to decompose organic matter and release nutrients for plants. Practices such as green manure and composting help maintain active biodiversity, creating more fertile and productive soils. Imagine a farm where the soil is treated as a living organism. The result is a healthier and more resilient system. Pollinators are another vital link in the relationship between biodiversity, agriculture, and sustainability. Bees, butterflies, and other insects ensure the pollination of essential crops like fruits, vegetables, and oilseeds. Creating ecological corridors with flowers and native vegetation is a simple practice that benefits both biodiversity and agricultural production. Sustainable practices also reduce pressure on natural ecosystems. Instead of clearing new areas for cultivation, regenerative agriculture focuses on restoring degraded lands, bringing back native species, and restoring natural balance. A practical example is planting trees in abandoned areas, creating refuges for local wildlife, and improving soil quality. Biodiversity strengthens agricultural systems, directly connecting agriculture and sustainability. By promoting interactions between different species and respecting natural cycles, we ensure more efficient and resilient production. If biodiversity is essential for sustainability, how do social aspects influence this relationship even more deeply? The connection between agriculture and sustainability also involves the well-being of people involved in food production. Farmers, rural workers, and local communities depend directly on agricultural practices that respect natural resources and promote social justice. Sustainable systems not only protect the environment, but also ensure dignified working conditions and economic opportunities. Sustainability in agriculture values the role of small producers and strengthens local economies. Through cooperatives and fair trade networks, farmers can access better markets, share costs, and exchange knowledge. A practical example is local farmers markets, where producers offer fresh food directly to consumers, eliminating intermediaries and generating more income for their families. Education and access to information are pillars of the relationship between agriculture and sustainability. When rural communities learn about regenerative practices like composting and integrated pest management, they become more independent and capable of tackling challenges like climate change. Agricultural training programs in schools or community centers are excellent examples of turning knowledge into action. Consumers also play an important role in the social aspects of agricultural sustainability. By choosing organic or fair trade products, they support ethical and sustainable practices, sending a clear signal to the market about the importance of preserving natural resources and valuing farmers. This direct relationship between consumption and production creates a network of interdependence that benefits everyone involved. Social aspects are the bridge between agriculture and sustainability, connecting people, communities, and the environment. When everyone works together, farmers, consumers, and governments, agriculture becomes a transformative force that feeds the present without compromising the future. If social transformation is possible, how does pollution reduction further reinforce this relationship? Pollution reduction is a central point in the relationship between agriculture and sustainability. Conventional agriculture, through its heavy use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, contributes to the contamination of rivers, soils, and even the air. Sustainable agricultural practices, such as integrated pest management, offer safer alternatives that protect the environment and human health. The sustainable management of organic waste is another important link in this connection. Many farmers improperly dispose of harvest residues or manure, contributing to the emission of harmful gases. Composting, on the other hand, transforms this waste into nutrient-rich fertilizer, closing the cycle in a way that benefits both the environment and production. Sustainable practices also help control pollution caused by soil erosion. Poorly managed soil allows nutrient-rich sediments to be washed into water bodies, harming water quality and aquatic ecosystems. Methods like terracing and covering soil with mulch protect the land, preventing it from being carried away by rain. Air pollution can also be reduced with more conscious agricultural practices. Burning, for instance, releases large amounts of harmful particles and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Methods like no-till farming and crop rotation eliminate the need for burning, contributing to cleaner air and a healthier environment. Agriculture and sustainability converge in the effort to minimize negative impacts and restore environmental balance. Practices that reduce pollution not only protect the planet, but also ensure that natural resources remain available. When we talk about balance, how are natural cycles impacted by sustainable agriculture? Agriculture and sustainability are deeply tied to natural cycles, which form the foundation of every agricultural system. Conventional agriculture often disrupts these cycles by depleting resources without allowing for their regeneration. Sustainable practices, on the other hand, work in harmony with nature, respecting processes like the water, nutrient, and organic matter cycles. The water cycle is directly impacted by agriculture. Techniques such as preserving riparian forests and maintaining soil cover help water infiltrate the ground, replenishing aquifers and preventing floods. Excessive irrigation and the removal of natural vegetation, however, can cause waste and even desertification. Sustainable agriculture, by optimizing water use, preserves this essential resource. The nutrient cycle is also affected by agricultural management. Chemical fertilizers accelerate productivity but disrupt the natural process of soil regeneration, leading to acidification and dependency. Sustainable methods like green manure and composting close this cycle, returning nutrients to the soil and ensuring its fertility. Organic matter is another critical piece of this puzzle. Crop residues and agricultural waste, which might otherwise be discarded, become fertilizer when reintegrated into the soil. Composting is a practical example of how to turn what would be waste into a valuable resource, strengthening the organic matter cycle and reducing the need for external inputs. When agriculture respects natural cycles, it becomes the very example of sustainability. Healthier soils, clean water, and strengthened biodiversity are the results of practices that prioritize balance. If natural cycles are fundamental to sustainability, how do agriculture and sustainability connect more broadly to transform the future? Now that you know how agriculture and sustainability go hand in hand, the question remains, how can this transform your life? If you are a farmer, think about the impact sustainable practices can have on your soil, harvest, and even long-term profits. How about starting with simple steps, like adopting no-till farming or diversifying your crops? Every decision counts toward regenerating what the earth has to offer. If you are a consumer, your choices are just as powerful. Opting for food from small producers, organic products, or agroforestry systems is not just about health. It's a vote for a more sustainable world. Every meal can be an act of care for the planet, from the farmer's market to your plate. So, what will you do today to align your actions with a sustainable future? Share your ideas and inspire others to join this change. And of course, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning how agriculture can transform the world. This is just the beginning of a journey of discoveries. Up next, I'll share a video on how to start agriculture organic farming. See you soon. Let's move towards a bountiful earth.